Amasa, good day, and welcome to our presentation. We are Thackeray Team 1, and we are here to present on leadership in extraordinary times. Together, we are grateful to the many indigenous nations of Turtle Island who continue to share knowledge about the history of these lands and their cultural practices. Our society is being tested by an ongoing stream of heightened emergencies and crises, and how our leaders react is important for success. Based on our research, leaders require critical leadership competencies such as empathy, trust, communication, and courage. COVID-19 is a global pandemic that continues to affect our world. In this presentation, we will examine how two national leaders, Donald Trump and Jacinda Ardern, are applying different leadership strategies during this pandemic. First, we will discuss their backgrounds and social locations. Next, we will explain the framework on which we evaluated each leader. Finally, we will compare and contrast the respective leadership styles. To get a better understanding of Trump and Ardern's worldviews, we assessed their social locations and compared their worldviews to our interpretation of global privilege. Trump is highly privileged. His upbringing and lavish lifestyle creates a disconnect from the diverse population that he leads. He has been embroiled in investigations relating to sexist, racist, corrupt, and ethically questionable behavior. Ardern is also privileged, but not to the extent of Trump. She is one of the world's youngest female heads of government and a self-proclaimed feminist. Given her age and limited experience, she has not yet been embroiled in controversies that spotlight on her character. Competence in times of crisis can have a profound effect on the confidence that a nation bestows on their leader. Mishandling any crisis can create anxiety and toxic emotions within a population. We analyzed Trump and Ardern's leadership using Lacerda's three-barrier approach to offset external constraints during a crisis. This table shows that building trust, pursuing a vision, and building emotional stability are of critical importance during extraordinary times. Dovetailed with these priorities are examples of specific actions or behaviors that indicate strong leadership characteristics. In our analysis, we introduced James and Wooten's questions that evaluate leadership competency during different crisis phases. Here are some examples of questions that we used to evaluate Trump and Ardern. Question 1. Have these leaders created a plan for reacting to the crisis in a timely manner? We considered how this question ties into our top competencies of trust and communication. Trump has added chaos to confusion with his emotionless approach to COVID-19, while Ardern has used a compassionate and empathetic approach. She has been successful in building trust, while Trump, according to a recent poll, has lost trust with Americans who felt he would not tell truths about the coronavirus as a result of his negative and confrontational communication style. According to Lacerda, leaders that build strong relationships help dissolve interpersonal distrust and uncertainty. Question 2. Do they acknowledge things that may be uncomfortable to confront? We consider how this question ties into our top competency of courage. Trump regularly downplayed the significance of the coronavirus in its early stages. In one Twitter tweet, he commented, "It's one person coming in from China. It's going to be fine." Meanwhile, Ardern issued rallying cries to her people: "Please be strong, be kind, and unite," and "self-isolate and help elderly neighbors." Lacerda advances that vision, having a roadmap goal that the organization needs to take, and focusing on the people are critical attributes in extreme situations. Finally, leaders must be courageous enough to pursue that direction. Question 3. What messages are being communicated to their nations and beyond. We considered how this question ties into our top competency of empathy. With Trump, there has been a central theme in his response to COVID 19: his outward lack of empathy for those who are suffering from this disease. In contrast, Ardern has relied on experts to co-message, do not panic and stay home to save lives, while acknowledging the impact the pandemic is having on her people. Ardern was clearly showing empathy for what she was asking her citizens to endure. Lacerda notes that in times of crisis, leadership must be more focused on interpersonal relations than crises management. A leader needs to speak openly and show concern for others, influence, persuade, build trust, and reassure the team. And most certainly, a leader must display empathy. Based on our analysis, we have determined that Trump has an autocratic leadership style. Autocratic leaders centralize power and authority, including unilateral decision making. Trump has demonstrated several examples of autocratic leadership throughout the COVID pandemic. For example, he disbanded the pandemic team and took control over pandemic related decisions and policies. He also prioritized the economy over lives as he focused on reopening America while COVID 19 cases continued to increase in his country. Overall, Trump's autocratic leadership style has not been effective. America leads the world in COVID 19 cases with 5,911 cases per 1 million people as of June 6 this year. Autocratic leadership can be effective in times of crisis, when quick and unpopular decisions need to be made. However, in these circumstances, autocratic leaders need the trust of their followers. Trump has failed to earn the trust of his nation. On the other hand, Ardern demonstrates an authentic leadership style. Authentic leaders focus on transparency and ethical behavior, rooted morals, information exchange, open mindedness, self awareness, and self control. During the pandemic, Ardern has demonstrated humility and genuine concern for her citizens by prioritizing consistent and open communication through regular press conferences from her home. She has shown genuine concern for all citizens, regardless of age, gender, or ethnicity. Ardern garnered trust with her prompt response to the growing pandemic, locking down New Zealand early while other countries waited. Her actions have resulted in just 232 COVID 19 cases per 1 million people, far fewer than in America. It could be easy to view authentic leadership as ideal. However, authentic leadership requires genuine sincerity. Disingenuous leaders risk the loss of trust and support of their followers, especially in times of crisis. As we have shown, trust, empathy, communication, and courage are essential leadership competencies in times of crisis. Empathy. Ardern has shown care and concern during the pandemic, while Trump has disregarded facts and pleas from experts and his citizens. Trust. Ardern's approach has earned her the trust of her people, while Trump has lost the trust of many. Communication. Ardern has developed a transparent framework for communicating her decisions, while Trump has been inconsistent, evasive, and contradictory. Courage. Ardern held herself to account for her bold decisions, while Trump has failed to hold himself accountable for his bold decisions. We have now determined that while both autocratic and authentic leadership styles have benefits and deficits, the authentic leadership style better aligns with crisis leadership in extraordinary times. On a boat in the middle of a great storm, one wise, calm person can bring everyone to safety. Joseph Goldstein. We hope you have found our presentation informative and enlightening. Amiya, thank you, and be safe.